So I've been sharing conversations I had with several sources yesterday about a variety of different issues. And coming up later on this morning live, we'll talk with Daniel Sir from the Illinois Liberty Justice Center. I believe it's just the Liberty Justice Center. They're a national nonprofit law firm. But still on the issue of vaccine mandates for daycare centers. We heard from Sarah Stoliker with Illinois owners and directors of child care centers. Last segment, I connected with State Senator Sally Turner, who's part of the Republican women senators at the State House, a caucus of women in the Illinois Senate with the Republicans, and they put out a statement Friday after the governor's vaccine mandate for daycare centers. Saying that this is going to exacerbate things and make problems that much more acute. And Senator Turner, Sally Turner from Beeson, sharing some of her thoughts on just how there's a lot of unanswered questions here when it comes to this mandate.
Well, first of all, I'm not quite sure that all of these daycare centers and all the individuals that have home daycare centers know how to get the weekly testing. So, is it something that the state pays for? Do they have home testing kits at their house? There's all kinds of questions I'm sure that they have that I hope someone's reaching out to them to explain all these things. But overall, the families across the state, especially women, I'm not saying that single dads don't depend on this too. They do. They're they've been impacted the most through this healthcare crisis. Reliable childcare for their kids is was first and foremost. So I've been to a lot of daycares in my area, in my district, throughout the 44th, and they provide fantastic at-home daycare. At home, there's a lot of at-home daycares, and that's that's something that they and the parents, I think, should have discussed between each other, and I think they have, and I think they've remedied all that uh, between the two, the caregiver and those seeking care.
Again, talking yesterday with Sally Turner, state senator from Beeson, and she reiterated how there's just a lot of unanswered questions like home daycare operations, people who operate daycares out of their homes. How are they going to be impacted by this mandate that the governor issued on Friday?
That is my understanding of that executive order when I looked at it. However, is that I don't know what they're pushing out. So is has the state interpreted that? I don't know. Those are again more unanswered questions that when you're pushing these things out, the people that it affects need to know exactly what they're required of them and exactly what are the different steps that they can take in order if they don't want to get a vaccine. How do they weekly test? How do they do that? Do the parents have to weekly test when they drop off a kid? There's a lot of questions to be asked.
Senator Turner also reacting to some of what we heard from Sarah Stoliker with the daycare group, saying it's going to exacerbate problems and lead to less availability and so on.
Absolutely. Again, the impact that COVID has had on our workforce is immense. And finding a place to take your child to childcare, to a reliable daycare, to one that's been approved by the state, to one that you know that your child fits well in, how does this affect that? Are they, is a parent going to have to start staying home and asking, maybe I need to work from home because I can't take my child to wherever this daycare is that they've been going to? A lot of questions.
But then you get to the question of where are lawmakers on all of this? Of course, these are edicts from the governor. They haven't been debated. They haven't been, public hearings about these things. When you're talking about forcing somebody to take an injection to keep their job or to test in place of that and to pay for those tests, that's public policy that impacts workers, individuals, their own sovereignty, and their own medical decisions. Shouldn't this be something that the legislature votes on? And that's a question I posed to Republican State Senator Sally Turner yesterday.
That's my feeling, and I believe before I came to the Senate, that is a bill that they put forth to um, go to the legislature. before all these executive orders just keep popping out. So, no, I respect the governor for having to deal with this situation, but wouldn't it be better served to open it up to the legislature to be able to have those discussions, find out where all the information is coming from that he comes up with all these decisions.
So again, sharing a conversation I had with State Senator Sally Turner yesterday here on the WMAY morning news feed. I'll share those conversations with you each and every morning when we have them. And this week's going to be a pretty jam-packed week with the state legislature in session.